Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the blessings you bestowed upon this club and this community. I just pray that you will continue to guide and direct us to make a difference each and every day. Thank you for our teachers and administrators in the room this morning, the impact that they have on our kids every single day. Thank you for our first responders and for the opportunity we have this morning to recognize them. I just pray that you continue to bless and watch over them as they protect each one of us. Just pray that you will continue to guide and direct Chancellor Loveless, continue to make the lasting impact on this community. Thank you for this food. Bless it and nourish my body, so we pray. Amen. Join the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, be seated. So any guests this morning, I know we've got several of the program we'll introduce, but any guest of members this morning? I don't see any. All right, so we'll get started here. See Joe.
Y'all don't know, it's just a single clap. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to make a quick announcement again about the spring benefit concert and auction. Please mark your calendars for 5/21. It's Saturday, May 25th. Big announcements to come here in the next week or so, so please make sure if you are not already following us on Facebook, get that followed quickly, and then mark your calendars for May 25th. If you have any sponsorship, May 21st, excuse me. If you have any sponsorship or auction ideas or options for us, please send that my way. We're really hitting the ground running right now as far as sponsorships and gathering those items, and so any little bit helps. We're looking forward to a huge event this year. We're pumped to have something going on in person, so we're really looking forward to it. So look forward to announcing more specifics about the event coming up here soon. Thanks, Rob.
Yes, sir. Yes, thanks to Joe and his entire team and the work they're putting in right now. Sherman Burns has one now.
Hey. Well, good morning, everyone. It's appropriate that we're doing this announcement today. The FBI Citizens Academy is opening back up for nominations, so I wanted to make that announcement. I'll try to get it in the newsletter as well. Nominations have to be, the deadline is May the 27th. This classes will be from September the 1st through the end of October the 27th on Thursday evenings. And they usually run between 5:30 or 9 or 6 to 9. But if anybody's interested, it's including some of you guys from Forest Meadow. I know one of the teachers at Lake Hans High School has been through it. I was nominated first. One that Karen, who's the young lady that does the law enforcement class there at the time?
Oh, Ms. Rockwell?
Yeah, she went through it. I got nominated her. Please contact me or reach out to Jamie. And the only requirement is you have to write your own rec letter, because I hate writing rec letters. But just let me know what you want to do. And while I'm on that, does Dallas have a Citizens Academy? Does the Dallas please? Yes, sir, we do. I need to do that. How do I get it looked up?
We get Kelly to get that.
Okay. But anyway, thank you.
Yeah, so if you are interested or someone you know, reach out to Sherman for that. Good to see Councilman Greer this morning. A lot going on, so he didn't want to take a ton of time this morning. Good to see Councilman Greer. Principal Jones, welcome back. What's going on at the high school?
Just a couple things. We're excited. Spring break is kicking off in about 8 hours. Not that we're counting, but we're really looking forward to that. Today, we have faculty-student basketball game, which is going to be fun. In-N-Out Burger is coming. Proud of our basketball team. We made it to the third round in playoffs, so that was exciting. Great things going on in fine arts. I know that our UIL one act play kids received an award where they were alternate regrouping the kids, doing some resource, trying to make sure that all kids are what's the word I'm looking for, addressed, to make sure that, you know, at whatever level they are, that we're serving them properly. And it's always a great day to be a Wildcat.
All right, thank you very much. Any other announcements on this? All right, Nathan, I'll invite Nathan up here and we'll go through the programs.
Thank you for the warm applause. Good morning, Lake Highlands.
Good morning.
So at the risk of having feedback, we're gonna try the 2 mics again. So Rick's ready to turn it off if we need it, but as Director of Community Service, it's my honor and privilege to host today's Police and Fire Quarterly Awards. It's one of our favorite programs because it gives us an opportunity to recognize outstanding members of the community, and it is people like that that help make Lake Highlands what it is. So with that, I would like to invite Firefighter Paulo Bacallo, aka the Brazilian Bombshell. And Sergeant Captain John Pope to the stage.
What's his nickname?
Oh,
So I'll let, have a seat. I'll let Captain Pope introduce Paulo.
Well, just hit the button. Okay. Got it. First of all, thank you to everybody here everybody that worked on that wonderful breakfast for us. We appreciate it. Thank you, Nathan, and everybody here that's made this possible. We really appreciate you guys. And I want to preface this with, I have a wonderful crew that is amazing and takes care of me every day and really makes me look good. And I appreciate every one of them. But today, I really wanted to honor Paulo Bacallo here. He's been a member of my station for a little over 2 years, and somebody that I feel like is my most improved individual of my station. I mean, he's come in, he's worked hard. He's the kind of guy that anything that needs to be done, anytime I ever ask him for anything, yes sir, and he takes care of it. And that's something that I really truly appreciate from him. He's one of our most senior paramedics on the ambulance as well. And he's just a guy that continues to improve every day, and he continues to impress me with the way that he carries himself, takes care of business, has a good attitude, just a lot of great leadership qualities that I see in him. And I look forward to where he's going in his career from here as he gets ready to take the next journey. And just pray that he continues to push forward and be a great leader for this department. Keep it very short.
And before we get to the Q&A section, I'd like to invite Police Officer Quintarius Crenshaw and Sergeant Jeffrey Wilson to the stage. And I will let Sergeant Wilson introduce Quintarius.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Morning. Again, thank you for the breakfast and for the whole event. So, Jeff Wilson, I'm the SRO Sergeant over the Richardson ISD schools in the city of Dallas, which mostly includes the Lake Highlands area. Officer Crenshaw came over about this time last year, and we had him at the high school to start out. And did a great job, and after the school year was done, transferred him over to Forest Meadow. And I think on the surface of that, it could look like a demotion, when it's actually a reflection of dependability and competency. So he's over there. When I asked the administrative staff, hey, I have to give a quick introduction on how great he is, the endlessly helpful Anna Catans sent me an email with a page and a half of examples of how great he is and how he does the most. Had to hear them tell me he does the most at least 1,000 times. So, an example of that was they were having some trouble on the buses, and for some reason he got on the school bus full of 7th and 8th graders and drove the school bus until they got home, which to me in itself is worthy of 10 times this. So, for that reason alone, plus a page and a half of additional examples, it was an easy choice to nominate him for this.
And as an SRO at Forest Meadow Junior High, Quinteris has a special place in the hearts of a lot of people in Lake Highlands. And as a little surprise, I would like to invite back club member and Assistant Vice Principal Joe Parisi to say a few words.
Yeah, we couldn't just let Sergeant Wilson talk about Officer Crenshaw. So, Officer Crenshaw's been with us at Forest Meadow now for a year, and I mean, we can't say enough positive things about him. The entire school community absolutely loves him. Students, parents, staff members. He really does go above and beyond. When we talk about him doing the most, his nickname, as we have the, what was your nickname? Brazilian Bombshell. We call Officer Crenshaw Officer Doing Too Much. So he's always going above and beyond. You know, you'll see him at extracurricular events all the time, you know, throwing footballs around the sideline, shooting hoops with basketball kids, giving pointers out on the track with the long jump, the high jumpers and hurdlers. And our cheerleaders and cheer moms loved him so much, they got him an awesome t-shirt that said, "Cheer Officer" on it. Because we know how much he is a cheerleader for all of our students and, you know, supports our campus. But he really does take his job very seriously. His first and main goal is to make sure that everyone in that building is safe at all times. And we always feel like we can go to him as a resource, and whenever we have questions in regards to safety and security, we kind of defer to him for, you know, giving us insight. So we couldn't say enough great things about him, and we are so appreciative to have him here at Forest Meadow.
So to kick off the Q&A section, Quinteris, we'll start with you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us if you like the nickname.
I love the nickname. You never get old. So I grew up actually in this area. I didn't go to Forest Meadow, but I went to Liberty. Left Liberty, and I went to DISD side. Graduated from Bryan Adams. From there, I left and went and ran track in college. Graduated from college with a bachelor's in criminal justice, certification in Homeland Security. I came back and I worked the juvenile department for like a year and a half. Got bored with that. Came to the police department, and here I sit.
We heard a little bit about it, but Quinteris, tell us a little bit about your role as an SRO officer.
So my role mainly is safety and security of the school, making sure everybody's safe at all times, to build relationships in the community and with the students. So that's what I strive for every day, is to build a relationship, because, you know, some people like police and some people don't. So my job is to kind of bridge that gap and make sure everybody understands what our job is, and kind of show them the different lights of police and what you get on the news and different outlets like that.
Paolo, we'll jump to you here for a second. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know Mr. Torres wants to know the answer to this. How did you get your name, the Brazilian Bombshell?
That's his fault. He came to, when I first started working there, I'm originally from Brazil, yes, but he started that nickname. So I managed to do about 12 years of my career without a nickname. But as the name suggests, I'm originally from Brazil, born and raised in São Paulo. Came to the United States at the age of 19 with a scholarship. I was a soccer player in Brazil. I figured, and I wasn't going to go very far as my soccer career there, so I came here as I figured I had a better chance here. Graduated from college in 2002 from Northwood University with an international business degree. went to work for a corporate, Home Depot corporate office for a while. Joined the fire department in 2008. A couple years after that, I did a master's degree in public affairs with emphasis in Homeland Security. The officer did. And being a member of the Dallas Fire Department now for 14 years. Becoming a firefighter was a choice for me. My grandfather was a captain in Brazil, and my parents were both athletes. I was pretty much raised by my grandparents, and he was a role model to me. And people, the way that people view the uniform and the career, it was a goal. When I came to the United States, I thought that wouldn't happen because I was focused on international business and making money and all that. But when I was 30 years old, it was a life decision to test it and join the Dallas Fire Department.
Tell us a little bit about your role and kind of your day-to-day with the fire department.
Most firefighters in the city of Dallas are paramedics, and not everybody understands that the EMS system is run by fire department as well. Being a firefighter, yes, is an important role, is an important part of the job that we do, but it was one of those things that you don't do it very often. So it's a high risk, low occurrency type of job. I think the most important role of the firefighter today is the paramedic role. Not only because you can make the most impact on somebody's life, but you also play as an advocate for children and adults. When you go there as an EMS and member of the city, and you see a situation where an adult needs an intervention, a social worker or a child, you are the person that can make a difference. So I think that our role goes beyond just the fire engine and the big truck, putting the wet stuff in the hot stuff.
So sticking with that, what is one of your favorite things about your job?
When I was in college, I was 19 years old. I was coming back from a dinner with a professor, and we saw a car on fire. And it was winter time. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and the professor that was driving got in panic, and he was like, "Oh, let's drive." There's a fire station 3 miles down this road. Of course, kind of highway is in Hillsborough. And I told him to come back, and I was like, "Well, let's, just by instinct, I was like, let's make sure there's nobody in the car." And there was a person there. And me and the professor and another student were able to take that person. That person was passed out on the driving seat. I think that the thing that this job provides that there's no money in the world that can pay is the ability as a human being to live this world better than what you left behind, to make an impact in someone's life. And that's something that is priceless.
Quinteris, we'll hop over to you. Same question. What is one of your favorite things about your role?
The favorite thing about my role is the interactions with the community. I'm a people person. I love people, and just to see smiles on people's faces when I interact with people, kids to adults. That's the beautiful thing about this job, because you meet somebody new every day.
So I've got 2 kids. I've got a 3.5-year-old and 11-month-old, and I've been told by club members who have older kids that just wait, it gets harder. So, dealing with junior high kids, what is one of the most challenging parts about your job?
One of the most challenging parts about junior high kids is that they're in an in-between stage. They don't really know who they are. They're trying to figure it out, and they're at the stage where it's like they don't care about much. So you kind of have to play the role and figure out, hey, okay, what do you care about? What's something that I can get your attention on and make you understand that if you don't do what you're supposed to do now, that will affect you later. So that's the most difficult part about junior high kids.
So, kind of on that theme, do you have a crazy story you can share with us on your experience?
I rode the bus home. And just yesterday we had a kid jump out of a window of a bus. So there's stories upon stories that I can tell about junior high kids, but one of the biggest ones is I had to ride the bus home because they just would not act right for the bus driver. So.
If you weren't a police officer, what do you think you'd be doing?
If I weren't a police officer, I would probably be a coach. That's a big passion of mine too, is to give something to kids that they don't always receive. And what I mean by that is, as a kid, you don't always hear what coaches are telling you until maybe later in life. And I'm still figuring it out to this day about some of the things my coaches told me. So I think that that's a big aspect in a kid's life is being a coach and showing them different avenues and what you learned as you were coming up, getting it back to a kid.
What is one stereotype about police officers that you think is true?
Y'all eat donuts? One stereotype that I think is that, let's see, we honestly take this job to try to better the community. That's something that we put on this uniform every day to do. To go out here to try to make a difference. So if you think that's what police officers do, that's absolutely correct.
And we'll go back to Kyle here. Kyle, I might have an idea here based on you liking soccer, but if you weren't, in the department, what would you be doing?
When I came to the United States, I came out to get a degree here, get an education, and be able to learn programs with children, with social services to improve life, because all over the world, the United States is viewed as an example. Although there's a lot of people here who don't think that way, but it is. I've been around the world. My goal was initially to get a degree here and go back to Brazil and get involved with a club or a program that would incentive children, low income, to better themselves, get an education, get a life, and get out of poverty.
Do you think you'll do that in the future?
After I retired, I do plan to return to Brazil part-time and get involved with something like that.
So similar question, what is one stereotype about firefighters that is true?
That we all have mustaches.
Gentleman in the back with a strong mustache.
I'm not sure about this. What do you think, Blake?
One stereotype about firefighters. We play a lot of games at the station. But we work hard and we play really hard too. Super competitive, too competitive at times, But if I can I share just one really quick story?
Absolutely.
About So we're in an interesting point in history, right? Now we're a couple years into this COVID thing. Well, when it first started, nobody knew what was going on, including us. We were still trying to figure this thing out. And I remember the first time someone came to our station, knocked on the door, and they said, "Hey, I'm having this trouble breathing, and we're learning about COVID." And they thought they had COVID, so we had these protocols. And I look over, and I'm like, "Hey, Paulo, someone's at the door that says they might have COVID." And I turn around again, and he's come back to the front door fully gowned, mask on. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, "Oh my God, is this like a hazmat situation?" And so, but at the time, we didn't know what was going on, right? And then he went and bought these masks that you can wear on the call so that nobody could sneeze on you or whatever. And I said, "Wow, Paulo, that's amazing what initiative you've showed and just so great to help the citizens out." And he goes, "Oh no, I just don't want to miss my overtime."
I didn't want to get sick and miss overtime. It was an investment.
It was a combination.
That's awesome. So who's the best game player at the department? Gamer, excuse me.
Well, cornhole, we've got Chad Thompson. He's the best cornhole player I've seen. Yeah, everybody's got their sport, Paulo, soccer. I'll tell you this quick story too. Every once in a while, this is to improve morale, right? We got to play games and improve our morale, have fun. We go to the soccer field at Richland College. I say, "Hey, you played soccer, I played soccer. Why don't you get in the goal and we'll do penalty kicks, So, Paulo is amazing. He's on the Firefighter Olympic team, wins a gold medal every year. So he gets in that goal, right? And I told him, I can kick that ball real hard, Paulo. I don't know where it's going to go, but I can kick it hard. I know that. So the first one I kick goes 50 feet over the net, not even close, right? And he's laughing at me, you know. Oh, no. Well, here comes my competitive side. Okay, get ready now. This one's coming. So I kick it as hard as I can, and he dives out, and boom, it hits his hand, and the ball starts rolling, and then it goes in the goal. And I'll never let him live that down. I got to score a penalty kick on the Brazilian bombshell.
Is that when you got the nickname?
Yeah, the bombshell was, you know, he's a guy that he cares about his looks, okay? And you know, he loves some, Paulo loves some Paulo, you know what I mean? So I found that out real quick. And, you know, and I found out, the hair, he went to Brazil, got the implants in, he's starting to get a little, injects himself with something at night. I'm not sure if it's steroids or he says it's something. What is that exactly? Tell me about that.
It's the HGH.
Yeah, that's steroids, basically.
That's great. I've got a few more questions, but I know that the audience always likes to ask friendly questions. So before I go any further, do you have any audience questions?
I'm designated to ask the question, but it goes to both the officers up there. So I seized upon your comment about how you can become an advocate in situations that you run across, especially with regards to children. You know, the Exchange Club, our national mission is the prevention of child abuse. So I was interested in terms of your relationships with the students that you build and the situations where you've got to almost assess a situation instantly. You know, how do y'all, when y'all see a situation, a child that's potentially in a bad situation, how do you advocate, or how do y'all plug them into the system to try and get them some resources? I know we have Family Compass on our side, which is a prevention, but in some cases, y'all are reacting to probably a situation that's already occurring. So how do y'all get those kids the resources they need when y'all run into those types of situations?
So the city has social workers, so does the hospitals that also have the Adult Protective Service and Children Protective Service. We run in situations, 911 became a big red button that when somebody called for an issue, they send us and the police. We have to wear many hats, and so does the police officers. They are counselors, they are, lawyers and coaches and teachers, because, sometimes a parent would call because a child is not obeying the parent, or a couple is arguing and they have to, mediate. We made a call one time that maintenance went to a building, the apartment that was supposed to be vacant. That apartment, the family left, and they were there to paint and refurbish the apartment to rent it again. And they found two children. Remember that call? And one, it was a boy and a girl. The boy was deaf. The sister was, I think, 7. The boy was 5. And the sister could communicate with deafly, left side. And there was no parents, nothing. I mean, the children were abandoned. And then the girl started telling me that she was living with a friend of a friend of a friend because the dad left and the mother was gone for a couple of weeks, and this friend took them in, but now she couldn't pay the rent, and it was right in the beginning of COVID. So we contact CPS trying to get involved. The only avenue that we know is through Child Protective Service. And we can notify the hospitals when we see an abuse and get the police to assist us, or when there's abandonment. Same thing with adults. Believe it or not, there's a lot of elderlies that are on their own and they can barely pay the bills, or they can barely take care of themselves. And sometimes when somebody calls because they haven't heard from them for a while, and we get there and they're sitting or laying in the ground for days. So it's something that we try to intervene to protect,
Officer, would you add anything to that?
As far as seeing things that I always try to ask kids or anybody else, are you okay? How are you doing? Because one of the biggest things that I see as far as working in the school is that some of these kids have hard lives. And you can just look at them and tell like something's going on. So that's one thing that I try to do is always ask, are you okay? How are you doing? They'll talk to you, they'll let you know, but they have to trust you first. Another big thing that I see as far as on this side in working in the schools is that some of these kids have nothing. They don't have any clothes, shoes, you know, they wear the same thing over and over. So I personally donated clothes from my closet, new clothes and shoes to Forest Meadow just yesterday. Just because I see how these kids are living on a day-to-day basis. So I think that I can do what I can to help. So that's one of the many hats that we wear is to try to help the community any way we can.
Well, since we're coming up close to the top of the hour, we'll go ahead and present the awards. So on behalf of the Exchange Club, I'd like to present Officer Crenshaw his award. And then on behalf of the Exchange Club, I'd like to present Paolo his award as well. If you guys don't mind staying for a second, I'll take a quick picture. But with that, I'll turn it back over to Robert.
Yes, it's always a great program. Thrilled to have the opportunity to recognize two great individuals this morning. So thank you for all that you do. I know, thank you only means so much, but we really do appreciate you all, and it's great that we have school resource officers, firefighters, and police officers that do the best back in our community. So thank you all for that. So auction, mark it down, May 21st. And no meeting next week. Yes, so spring break is next week, so no meeting next week. Don't show up here Thursday or Friday, we'll be here. And then we will reconvene the Friday after spring break. So with that, everybody have a great Friday and let's say spring break. We're adjourned.